Hello, good evening, and happy Tuesday, everyone. It's only Tuesday, right? Isn't that cool? It's like only the second day of the new week. I just realized that like half an hour ago. I remembered. So, this Tuesday evening, or whenever you find this, we're going to be getting back into the Path of Alchemy, energetic healing, and the world of natural magic. And we're getting into Ch.6 tonight, which is entitled Initiatic Alchemy. And yeah, I mean, my initial intention when I started reading this was to finish all of the homework for each of the assignments. But as I was going on, that became um, not something that I could keep up with. So I'm gonna cruise through it, and I'll keep after these assignments and keep on my own pace with it back farther in the different chapters because I still haven't even completed everything, right? So one moment at a time, but we'll continue with it. There's so many books to read, so many things that I've got on the list. So, Initiatic Alchemy. Our chapter overview is 1, creating the ends of Paracelsus, 2, physical and spiritual healing in alchemy, and 3, secret fire, Kundalini in alchemy and Kabbalah. According to Paracelsus, the ENS, or ENS, is among the most powerful and easiest medicines. The ENS is an influence or principle that affects us and is a definite spiritual, psychic, or physical thing. While 5 such principles are designed, or rather, while 5 such principles are designated as creating illness within us, the ENS tincture, created from the vegetable kingdom, can be used to correct these imbalances and bring us physical and psychic health. In addition, the ENS allows a means of working in the plant realm toward specifically initiatic products. According to spagyric theory, the ENS manifests the highest initiatic virtue of the plant it created. It is this initiatic aspect we seek when we create and ingest the ENS of a particular plant. Authorities seemingly disagree on the nature of spagyric medicines when it comes to this point. At least one authority claims that initiation is the sole goal of the alchemical product. Others, particularly Frater Albertus, Bachstrom, and Manfred Junius, suggest that powerful medicines for physical illnesses may be produced using the alchemical process. A middle ground has also been offered and has been stated in a previous chapter, that the creator of the product realizes more of a spiritual benefit its ingestion, while another may realize more of a physical benefit from its use. Hermetic tradition supports this middle position as well as the possibility of the recipient, who is not assisted in the medicine's creation, reacting much more strongly at the sudden increase in overall vibratory rate. Some individuals who have taken alchemical products are said to have responded violently to ingesting unprepared. Wait. Some individuals who have taken alchemical products are said to have responded violently to ingesting unprepared, the more potent metallic and mineral medicines. Ingesting unprepared. Okay, I get it. As a qualifier, it might be that the effects of the medicine will cause anyone who does not involve themselves in spiritual or esoteric activities on a regular basis to find either a more physical reaction or a more violent shock. Hey, Steve, good to see you. It does, don't it? Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Initiation. The nature of esoteric initiation is often misconstrued by students, and even often by those who would pretend to grant it, either through rituals or by oral transmission or in so called astral or psychic initiations. It is sufficient to say initiation is the beginning of a new aspect of our interior development. One may have interior experiences without initiation, of course. However, initiation sets them apart by making them progressive in their function, intensity, and purpose. The role of initiation is to assist us in having and understanding our inner development. This, however, can be a bit of a stumbling block. Many schools, orders, and societies offer initiations into their various degrees, complete with beautiful rituals, titles, and whatnot. However, students of alchemy will most likely have realized by the time they begin their alchemical studies that these exterior initiations are but ritualized shadows, initiations and promises of things to come. True and lasting initiation is only had from within. Dude, amen. The words of 18th century French mystic and philosopher Louis Claude de Saint Martin are in perfect harmony with the alchemical vision of initiation. Quote, "The only initiation which I preach and seek with all the ardor of my soul is that by which we may enter into the heart of God and make God's heart enter into us, there to form an indissoluble marriage, which will make us a friend, brother, and spouse of our divine Redeemer. There is no other mystery to arrive at this holy initiation than to go more and more down into the depths of our being, and not to let go, or rather, and not let go till we can bring forth the living, vivifying root, because then all the fruit will be produced within us and without us naturally." End quote. That's beautiful. But then we ask, are the two always separate? Are all external rituals essentially poor imitations of an interior state? By no means is that an absolute. Unfortunately, for a ritual initiation to work, that is, to have its intended effect, the initiator must be higher in psychic vibration than the one receiving the psychic impulse. In our modern society, this is rarely the case. Since alchemy has no set rituals, no lodges, and no methods of advancement other than the work itself, all initiation is said to be interior in this form of esotericism. We initiate ourselves into the work, and the work initiates us into higher and deeper levels of consciousness. To those who would object to this statement, ponder just this one question: are we not always our own initiator? That is, are we not solely responsible for our starting, progressing, and finishing the path? It is not our own higher selves, or rather, is it not our own higher selves that prompt us onward? It is from this higher self that the meditation, dreams, and sudden flashes of lucidity we are initiated. Initiated, that is, back into the presence of our true selves, the center and origin of our being. In this light, an initiation may come completely devoid of ritual or ceremony. It may be a sudden event that changes us completely. It may even be a veritable incarnation of a Kabbalistic or alchemical path working, unfolding in daily life. In the end, however, as the word implies, initiation is only the beginning of the new stage of development, and that phase is only completed when we have been initiated into the next phase at the hand of our interior master, our very soul. It does us little good to go around collecting ritual initiations at the hands of would-be or even authentic masters, as these are not things that one can hang on the wall like a diploma. It is best if we focus our energies on a singular path and complete it instead of running around looking for shortcuts and getting nowhere. As ego-seeking spiritual realities, we can only prepare ourselves for initiation, present ourselves at the door of the interior temple, and knock. It is said, quote, "Knock, and it shall be opened to you. Ask, and it shall be given," end quote. We may knock, ask, and wait in patience and silence, but never demand. True interior initiation comes but once, for that is all that is needed, creating within us a permanent change in consciousness, a permanent change that is at once expansive, unitarian, comprehensive, and evolutionary in nature. It is an ever-expanding upward spiral of what Israel Regardie called light, life, love, law, and liberty. The 5 L's, eh? How many initiations we experience is dependent upon our chosen path, be it alchemical, Kabbalistic, Wiccan, or neo-pagan. But even here, the idea of division is more of a function of our exterior consciousness than our interior awareness. We consume both spiritual food and material food in small doses so that we do not choke or get indigestion. Yet at the end of the meal, all of the needed food for our growth and survival is consumed. Initiation is the same, and it is a small chunking of a larger piece of life consciousness. We receive in interior initiation exactly what we need for our growth, no more, no less. How many of these small spoonfuls of life we swallow depends on our chosen interior path and the degree of progress we make on it. Thus, once again, the obligation and responsibility is ours. Hey, Dustin, welcome in, dude. Happy Tuesday. Right? It's only Tuesday so far. Isn't that awesome? Desert Rose, I miss you. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love you. That's so unnecessary and I appreciate you so much. I've been missing you and it's awesome to see you. Yeah, dude, how you been? It's been so long. Excuse me. I'll try and look up. Hopefully you can tell me. Isn't this juicy? It's so good. Thank you. So thus, once again, the obligation and responsibility is ours. In summary, it might be said that we can be expected to experience an initiation for each plane of awareness, and one for each of its subplanes. How this works out mathematically is up for debate. One school of thought suggests that there are 12 planes, 7 major and 5 minor, with each having its own subdivision of 5 planes, for a total of 60 levels of being progressively available to us. Being was capitalized. However, each time we experience an initiation, there is in reality only one being that is experienced, and our awareness of that one is expanded. Always back to one. I went live at 10:55 today, which is for the 11. To the one. And our awareness of that one is expanded. To be overly concerned with levels of initiation before it is revealed is to feed the ego and not the soul. The Hermetic schools that use the tree of life suggest that just as the sphere of Malkuth, or physical life, is composed of the 4 elements synthesized by I should know how to say this. Quintessence. Quintessentia. All right, so is composed of the 4 elements synthesized by quintessentia, or spirit. Each of the remaining 9 spheres also has 4 subplanes, with a single unifying plane at the end. Thus, each sphere of the tree of life can be said to have its own earth, water, air, fire, and spirit aspects. This is why it is possible to create a specialized plane or mineral product designed to affect the fire, air, water, or earth energy of the planets or psychic centers they are associated with. Through a fire product, such as the ends, we affect consciousness directly. An air product, such as an elixir that is exhaled, affects the mind as well as organizing ability and energy patterns. Excuse me. A water product, such as a spagyric tincture. Oh, hiccup again. Excuse me. A water product, such as a spagyric tincture, affects the astral energies, while an earth product affects the etheric and material bodies directly. Mineral products are powerful healers because of their earth nature, as are spagyric products made primarily of plant roots. However, since these elements are also organized in a hierarchy of subtle to dense, as well as organically, impacting fire has a ripple effect across the remaining elements. Impacting water affects earth and, if strong enough, may have an effect on air. While we seek to compartmentalize ideas for the sake of understanding and technical application, nature is not so neat and discrete. This subtle relationship cannot be memorized, only understood through direct experience, the kind of experience that alchemy can offer. Cool. I hope you love it. I hope you love it, Rose. I hope everybody watches it, like, in the world. I love you too. Oh my gosh. I hope all is well your way, everyone. Madeep. Ah, sweet dreams to you. Thanks for popping in, dude. Always wonderful to see you, my friend. I hope you're having a great week. The nature of spagyric tinctures, and in particular the ends, is to clear out the blocks in our psychic makeup and anatomy, similar to what is called nadis in yoga, or the meridians in acupuncture. Did I say that right? Nadis? This subtle anatomy allows for the exchange of information between the dense physical world of matter, the endpoint of creation, and the subtler psychic world, of which it is an extension. In creation, there are no breaks, gaps, or holes. Such exist only in our knowledge or realization of nature. By affecting change on this subtle in between level, we can increase the flow and quality of energy from these slightly finer worlds above to our physical world below. With each corresponding increase in intensity, an initiation can be said to have taken place if, of course, the energy becomes permanently available to us, and the increase is not just a temporary jump to a higher level. These psychic nerve channels exist in the planet as well as in humanity in the form of ley lines. I recently purchased a book about the ley lines and where those energetic lines actually lay. And it's really dry. It's so dry. I'm gonna go snag it real quick. And honestly, too, the one of the main reasons I bought it was because it was like such an expensive book. But I found it. I found someone selling their copy for like $16, and it was like a book that was like hundreds of dollars. But studies in geophysics, the Earth's electrical environment. It is interesting. Like, it's so interesting. Plus, I'm really interested in this too, just because of my research on the pyramids and stuff. But yeah, lightning phenomenology, physics of lightning, positive cloud to ground lightning, acoustic radiations from thunderstorms, applications and advances in lightning research to lightning protection. So wait, then we've got cloud and thunderstorm electricity, global and regional electrical processes, and oh my gosh, it's all really interesting, right? But I like even some of the graphs and charts and stuff. There's something. Have you been studying? Oh my gosh. Isn't it juicy? The role of lightning in the chemistry of the atmosphere. Dude, the Schumann resonance, man. Ley lines. Okay. The National Academy Press. Okay. I don't think I'll ever narrate that one. I do piece on it here. Okay, so ley lines. As stated in Chapter 1, alchemists call the natural power of creation the secret fire. The prima materia, right? Yes, there is. Is that the prima materia? The secret fire. It is the force that continually changes all of creation, moving it forward to more and more refined levels. When we create and ingest spagyric or alchemical products, we are assisting nature in the quickening of our personal evolutionary process. The secret fire works on the etheric levels. All substances and all elements have their basis in this and have their bases, bases, bases in this rather, or I'll start that sentence again. All substances and all elements have their bases in this pre-matter we call the etheric, and as such, they can be approached from the level of the invisible if you know how to adjust and direct the secret fire. This fire gives us power and control over what is often called inanimate nature. In truth, nothing is really inanimate, as life exists in all matter to a degree. In truth, nothing is really inanimate, as life exists in all matter to some degree. In a rock's consciousness, life is in a deep trance. In the vegetable realm, it sleeps. In the animal realm, it stirs, and it becomes self-aware degree by degree in humanity. Dude, that's a Sufi. I'm gonna find it. That's a ancient Sufi quote. Rocks sleep, flowers it stirs, or something like that. Or it wakes, and in man it wakes. Or flowers it stirs. Sufi quote. God sleeps in the rock, dreams in the plant, stirs in the animal, and awakens in man. I love that quote, dude. I think I've heard different Ibn Arabi. God sleeps in the rock, dreams in the plant, stirs in the animal, and awakens in man. That's cool, right? Excuse me. I normally try and pause for that. I didn't. So I'm going to read that again. In a rock's consciousness, life is in a deep trance. In the vegetable realm, it sleeps. In the animal realm, it stirs, and it becomes self-aware degree by degree in humanity. Like our basic tincture previously described, an ENS tincture can be made for each of the 7 planetary rulers for each day of the week. It is through the herb influenced by a particular planet that we seek initiation into the Kabbalistic sphere or world ruled by that planet. However, unlike a plant stone, the ENS has a lesser initiatic power, although it is still quite surprising. In the plant stone, the 4 aspects or elements of earth, air, water, and fire are in balance. In the ENS, the fire element is predominant for reasons we shall see. The advantage lies in the simplicity of its creation, allowing any, regardless of experience level, to create an ENS tincture. From another perspective, the ENS may be seen as comparable to elixirs in which the tincture has been exalted through repeated processing and in which the tincture's calcined salts have been added to the procedure. However, elixirs almost always contain several species of plants as well. Yeah, sleeps in the rocks. How to make an ENS. While several methods exist for the creation of the ENS, The one described here is easy and safe and requires no special equipment. While herbs freshly cut immediately before use are pre- while herbs freshly cut immediately before use are preferred, they can be cut several days beforehand and stored in a plastic container in your refrigerator to maintain freshness. The glass used in making an ends will be etched by the caustic nature of the liquefied potassium carbonate. Therefore, use materials that you will set aside for use only in making future ends. Equipment needed: glass jar or container for making a tincture. Canning jars work best. We need 1 ounce of dried plant, or preferably 2 or more ounces of herb. We need 1.5 pounds of potassium carbonate, and we need a glass dish no less than 1 inch deep. The technique for making an ends: 1. Read all directions several times prior to undertaking the experiment. Be sure that you are familiar with the process prior to its actual performance. 2. Spread the potassium carbonate in a thin layer inside the glass dish, no more than 1/4 inch thick, less than 1 centimeter. Take caution to avoid exposure to the potassium carbonate in either its dry state or when it becomes liquefied through exposure to the night air, as it is toxic and can cause a rash or burning of the mucous membranes. Wash your hands thoroughly after handling it to avoid any accidental exposure or contamination of your eyes or other sensitive areas. Remember, the potassium carbonate will etch the sides of the glass container used during this experiment. 3. Place the tray in an area where it will be exposed to the night air. As potassium carbonate, or salt of tartar, liquefies or becomes deliquescent, deliquescent, liquefies or becomes deliquescent, it absorbs the water carried in the night air. This water, or humidity, is the vehicle of universal fire. It is most easily contained, or rather, it is most easily obtained in the spring and summer months and is known as angel water. Deliquescent, let's look it up. Becoming liquid, or having a tendency to become liquid. Deliquescent. Cool. True that. This water, or humidity, is the vehicle of the universal fire. It is most easily obtained in the spring and summer months and is known as angel water. That's cool. 4. Decant or filter off the liquid each morning, being sure to avoid its exposure to the sun or a direct water source, such as rain. To do this, use either a syringe, large eyedropper, turkey baster, or lab pipette, set aside only for this purpose, as it will also be etched by the angel water. 5. Caution: never pipe by mouth. 6. When 5 to 4 ounces, or 125 to 150 milliliters, have been collected, you can begin the first ends tincture. To avoid too much loss of this precious liquid through filtering, you may want to collect it in a jar or flask and then filter it all at once prior to use. Note: it will etch the glass and is stored in just it will etch the glass it is stored in just as it does the container that is used to make it. 7. Make sure you seal the storage jar tightly to prevent the liquid from absorbing any additional fluid from the surrounding air. Fill only 2/3 of the jar, leaving room for possible expansion if the seal is accidentally loosened or broken. 8. Place an ounce of finely ground herb or several ounces of freshly cut herb in a fresh jar and pour in the clear fluid you have collected and filtered on the planetary day and or hour of the planet ruling the herb. Pour in enough fluid to cover the top of the herb and to allow for thorough shaking. Depending on the absorbent nature of the herb chosen, this can be from 100 to 200 milliliters of the collected oil of tartar per herb for adequate coverage. If any oil of tartar remains, save it for future use. 9. Pour in an equal amount of grain alcohol and shake daily to ensure the two liquids mix, as the lighter alcohol will float on top. The alcohol that forms the ends tincture is removed after it turns a dark reddish color. It will only take on the color and tincture of the oil of tartar through repeated mixing, as the two fluids will quickly separate. 10. When you have obtained the proper color, pipette the top layer of alcohol off and store it separately. It is ready for use. You can use a turkey baster set aside exclusively for this purpose. 11. Be careful not to pull off any of the oil of tartar, as it is caustic and will be very unpleasant if swallowed. And that was all 11. Because of the magnetic nature of this deliquescence, it is important that the lid be non-metallic or that the mouth of the jar be wrapped in plastic food wrap prior to sealing. You may also wish to wrap it in aluminum foil to limit or reduce the amount of psychic contact the liquid receives. That's a lot of alchemy to process. It's a lot of chemistry. Alchemistry. Alchem. Chemet. Using the ends. Take 10 or at most 20 drops in a glass of preferably distilled water on the day ruled by the planet of the plant in the hour following sunrise. If this is not possible, then take it in any of the other 3 planetary hours occurring that day. As before, you may concentrate it prior to consumption with Kabbalistic or astrological rituals, as you would do for a talisman. Because the ends is an energetic product, it will have an effect on the subtle or astral body of the user. Note carefully your dreams in your notebook, as well as the phases of the moon and any other psychic or coincidental occurrences that may happen. This universal fire is what sets both our personal and planetary energy, or secret fire, into action on various levels. This is the Kundalini energy of yoga that is carried in the vital energy of the air, or prana. This is the only energy that can initiate us into the spiritual realms. It didn't say us. This is the only energy that can initiate into the spiritual realms. Those with Kabbalistic training or experience in ritual magic will see a similarity in the idea presented here with the elemental attributes of the so-called magic circle. The universal fire, also known as Rauch in Hebrew and Spiritus in Latin, is the vital life energy carried in the air, spring, the east, from which we extract the vital principle or experience it as fire, summer, and south. By means of water, autumn, the west, and capture it in the physical medium, the earthly herb, winter, north. Juicy. For those not wishing to create all 7 of the ends at once, take the following into consideration when picking a plant for your first time. You may pick a plant based upon its planetary sign, such as one for a quality that you are deficient in. Kabbalists take note, in parentheses it says, Kabbalists take note, as spagyric tinctures can be used to facilitate specific rituals and paths. A moon ends will open up the psychic world, Yetzirah and Yesod in particular. It may also be used with path workings involved with it may also be used with path workings involving the moon, the 32nd, 30th, 28th, and 25th paths on the tree of life. See the diagram on the opposite page. It doesn't have those numbers, but oh, I see the degrees here. Okay, let me show you. So a moon's ends will open up the psychic world. Yesera and Yesod. Yesera. Interesting. Okay, so there's some bullet points here. The first one, an ends of lady's mantle, Alchemilla vulgaris, will open up Venus or Netzach and give information regarding plant alchemy, hence its official name, Alchemilla. Dude. The next bullet point, an ends of Eyebright will assist in awakening intuition and inner communion. It may even give glimpses of the world of archetypes and the higher mind, Briatic world. It may also be used in rituals and path workings involving the sun. And then the last bullet point is an ends of Saturn, particularly horsetail, may be used in the 32nd path and opening of Saturn, and may even give glimpses of the archetypal world and eternity itself. This is a very powerful product and should be the first we make to clean our psychic channels and open ourselves to increased energy, to increased levels of energy and consciousness. In his biography of Paracelsus, Franz Hartmann quotes an unknown manuscript, allegedly in private possession, in which Paracelsus described creation of the Melissa ens and its virtues. Quote, but the premium ens Melissae is prepared in the following manner. Take half a pound of pure carbonate of potash and expose it to the air until it is dissolved by attracting water from the atmosphere. Filter the fluid and put as many fresh leaves of the plant into it as it will hold, so that the fluid will cover the leaves. Let it stand in a well-closed glass and in a moderately warm place for 24 hours. The fluid may then be removed from the leaves and the latter thrown away. On top of this fluid, absolute alcohol is poured so that it will cover the former to the height of 1 or 2 inches, and it is left to remain for 1 or 2 days, or until the alcohol becomes of an intensely green color. This alcohol is then to be taken away and preserved, and fresh alcohol is put upon the alkaline fluid, and the operation is repeated until all the coloring matter is absorbed by the alcohol. This alcoholic fluid is now to be distilled, and the alcohol evaporated until it becomes of the thickness of a syrup, which is the premium ens Melissae. But alcohol that has been distilled away and the liquid potash may be used again. The liquid potash must be of great concentration and the alcohol of great strength, else they would become mixed and the experiment would not succeed. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Yes, we would. They say, like to do it by yourself or like with another person. Like one other person. Oh my gosh, dude. That would be so cool. Desert Rose. Okay, one second. I'm going to clear my throat. We can both bring tea. We'll share teas. It'll be a party every time. Oh, wrong way. All right. In a footnote to the above material, Hartman quotes Lesseburn or Lesburn, Lesebure, Lesseburn, a physician, Louis the 14th of France, and his Guide to Chemistry, printed in Nuremberg in 1685, page 276, in which Lesseburn describes the following account of an experiment he claims to have witnessed regarding the extended use of the premium ens melissae. Quote, one of my most intimate friends prepared the premium ens melissae, and his curiosity would not allow him to rest until he had seen with his own eyes the effects of this arcanum, so that he might be certain whether or not the accounts given of its virtues were true. He therefore made the experiment, first upon himself, then upon an old female servant, aged 70 years. I've read this before. And afterwards upon an old hen that was kept at his house. First he took, every morning at sunrise, a glass of white wine that was tinctured with this remedy, and after using it for 14 days, his finger and toenails began to fall out, without, however, causing any pain. He was not courageous enough to continue the experiment, but gave the same remedy to the old female servant. She took it every morning for about 10 days, when she began to menstruate again, as in former days. Okay, I thought that I read it wrong, but that was the way it said. At this, she was very much surprised, because she did not know that she had been taking a medicine. She became frightened and refused to continue the experiment. My friend took, therefore, some grain, soaked it in that wine, and gave it to the old hen to eat. And on the 6th day, that bird began to lose its feathers, and kept losing them until it was perfectly nude. Before 2 weeks had passed, new feathers grew, which were much more beautifully colored. Her comb stood up again, and she began again to lay eggs. Dude. I think I actually have read this book all the way through a long time ago. End quote. Minus my comment. According to one modern manuscript on alchemy, a similar experiment using a different method of extraction produced a milder and less violent reaction in the hens it was given to, while increasing their egg weight and production. While this is not being related to encourage extended use of the tincture, it is from stories such as these that we know of the legendary healing and rejuvenating qualities of alchemical products. No Caps, good to see you, dude. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. We're just at the very end here. So the key points are: alchemical initiation is defined as personal, interior, and progressive changes in consciousness that may be manifested externally as increasingly powerful transmutations and an increase in life energy. Next is Kabbalistic cosmology, as expressed in the Tree of Life, can assist in understanding the pattern and purpose of alchemical initiations. Next, we have these initiations progress from the densest psychic realm of the moon to the subtlest of Saturn into unity itself. Next, the 4 elements and the quintessence exist in the material world and also from substrata of each of the planetary levels, as expressed by the spheres on the Tree of Life. Next, spagyric products help clear the psychic channels, or nadis, in yoga and meridians in acupuncture. Next is the etheric matrix is the secret fire of the material world, the serpent of the Kundalini, Through progressive cleansing of the etheric channels, the secret fire is naturally brought into conscious operation. And lastly, a dream notebook is essential in understanding our inner experiences. I've had some really cool dreams this past week. Yes, it is. My birthday is on the 22nd of April. Earth Day, birthday. It's so close. And I'm going on adventure. I'm going on a Oasis camping trip in California. Oh my gosh, I'm getting on a plane. Isn't I've got so many vacations this spring. I'm so blessed. I'm so excited about all of them. All right, general assignments for Chapter 6. 1. Create an ends for each of the 7 ancient planets. 2. Draw the polygon or geometric shape for each of the 7 ancient planets and place the corresponding planetary symbol in the center. Draw them in black on white or in their planetary colors on white. They can also be drawn in their complementary color on their primary background. Let me try the whole sentence again. They can also be drawn in their complementary color on their primary background. For example, the color for Mars is red. So the pentagon or pentagram with the symbol for Mars would be drawn in green on a red surface. These polygons can be found in Israel Regardie's The Golden Dawn, John Michael Greer's Circles of Power, and Jean Dubois's Fundamentals of Esotericism. Meditation practices for Chapter 6. Daily planetary meditations. Meditate on the principal planet using the drawing you have made. As you progress, visualize the images in color as you have made them. When meditating, visualize the image at the nape of your neck, where the head sits on the spinal column. Hold the image as if you were looking back through your skull at it, and imagine it as a brilliant, glowing, etheric tattoo. Do this meditation particularly during the appropriate planetary hour for each of the polygons. Oh my gosh! It's so cool. The 10th. Oh my gosh, dude. Happy birthday. So close. Oh, right. Today's 4/4. It's a building day. Wow. That's happy birthday. Okay. Next meditation practice for Chapter 6. Lucid dreaming. Using the method outlined above, visualize the polygon with this planetary symbol in the center at the nape of your neck as you fall asleep. This will induce dreaming and lucid dreaming. Write down your experiences in your notebook. Initiation. Meditate on the nature of initiation and how a permanent change in your consciousness in one or more specific areas would benefit you. Consider what you need to do to facilitate that change. And then the last meditation is the Philosopher's Stone. Meditate on the nature of the Philosopher's Stone, what it means to you, and what you are doing to fix or incarnate those ideals in your daily life. Carry a small picture or drawing of the stone and remind yourself of these ideals and your commitment at regular times each day. Boom, we did it. That was really good. So that's what we're reading tonight. And next time I go live with this book, we'll be getting into Chapter 7. And it is entitled Physical Health and Healing with Spagyrics. Dude. Dang, oh my gosh. It's so awesome to see you again, Rose. And thanks for joining everyone. No Caps and Steve and Madeep and anyone too. I know that we had a lot of people pop in that didn't say anything. Welcome to and thank you. Happy birthday, Rose. And thank you, YouTube. And oh my gosh, it was so juicy. I'm just closing it up. I love you. Welcome and thank you for being here. It was so juicy. But yeah, thank you so much to StreamYard and so much to YouTube's and so much to everyone here and to my family and my friends. And of course, like above all, I thank you, Spirit. I thank you, God. And I wish you all wonderful rest of your evenings or your mornings or your days, wherever you are, wherever you are. And I'll likely be back tomorrow. So take care of yourselves. I love you so much. Mwah. Do it like you feel it. End.